Hello. Hello again, kids. I'm back here doing drawing session of the Raven. I'm doing cleanup, basically. I'm just going back through and any drawings I don't really love or I feel like they need to be updated, I'm going to do that. So I'm going to open all of these again. I think page 1 is done. I do believe page 1 is done. I think 24, I know 24 is done. There's a handful of other ones I need to do. I thought I remembered to write it down, but apparently I didn't. So I am just going to open pretty much all of them just to make sure that they're good. I guess I thought I was going to get them all done at the last session that I did, and there's no way. There was too much to do. So, okay, so I need speech bubbles for that one. That's fair. This one's done. I mean, it needs some shading, but that's an inking portion. I'm going to go back and add some highlights, low light, mid light, whatever you want to call them. High, mid, lows. Sorry, it's a musician thing. So close that one for now. That one just needs the bubbles. That's a pretty easy fix. I can do that soon. This one's kind of done. That's an inking process. Like I said, that's detail there. And so 23. I'm going to make a notepad real quick just so that I know. Just so I know which ones it is. Page numbers. So we got 23 so that I can close it. I'm trying to get myself organized. I believe this is done. It just needs to be inked. Right? Yeah, that's done. If it's done, I'm not going to write it down. That one I believe is done. You know, I think it's funny. She kind of looks like Marge Simpson here to me. I don't know why she does what she does. You know, without the big hair, just like the facial structure. All right, let me close that. Isn't this exciting? Let's do... This one's done, I think. Listen, it's not all thrills, okay? It's work. All right. So this one's done in terms of it needs to be inked. He looks a little... It's kind of funny here. He's all disheveled looking and he's water on his face. He looks a little bit thicker than I intended for him to be, but it is what it is. It's just the angle that he's at. But this one's good, I believe. I think this one's done too. Let me check his face. See, his face looks good there, I think. Close that. That guy's fine. Just when I go to ink this, it's going to be kind of half shaded, so that's why you can see the walls and everything. It'd be like not to say half shaded, I mean like a 50% rather than like a fully blacked out scene, because of the diffuse light bouncing off the table, which is also going to fill the room. You know, it'll bounce off walls and or the floor and stuff like that. So makes sense to me anyway. You got to get your lighting right. That's the most important thing, I think, to make a scene believable. Oh, this hallway hasn't been drawn, so that one. Got me my big old Dunkin' coffee. My wife has converted me into drinking cold coffee. It's fantastic. Let's see. So I really love this scene, especially this him tearing out. That's exactly what I had in my mind. Was like he's flying down the street. For the most part, I think this is a good. Again, halftone. When I say halftone, I mean like mid-tone gray for the ground and maybe some texture. That's easy. It's an inking thing. And black for the background. That's pretty much done. This one, I think this is going to be okay. I don't see... I want to make sure I'm fixing drawings, but I'm... Like, that one needs to be fixed. For sure. Not the girl, but the two guys at the front. They don't look great. because I kind of rushed through that just to get the scene done, to get all the panels done. You know, get them down basically. This one is more or less done. I mean, it's just a little bit of ink in it. Good go. Again, midtones, blacks. Because on the first part of this, the book, this comic book, they're basically in darkness because they're outside camping, like deep in the woods somewhere. I took the time to white this, to background these, because I wanted this. If it's gonna be dark, rather than have like the black lines and then the white background, I wanted to kind of flip them and decompose it so it feels more like they're running quickly at night. An old school trope. Okay, so basically I need to just take his nose and his eyes and just kind of turn them a little bit. His eye can face the direction it is, but his, like the way he's looking, but the eye shape is too pronounced upward, so that needs to be fixed. That is page 8. Oh, right, page 7. I didn't even finish her drawing. You okay over there? Mm-hmm. All right. This way I don't have to have all of the windows open and I don't have to feel as overwhelmed and forget what I'm drawing. Yeah, see. She's good. Sorry if I'm breathing in your ear. My our cat likes to sit on. We have a an AC unit, like a window shaker in our room, because although we have central air, someone likes to keep it kind of warm in there, and it gets hot in this room because the sun comes in directly into our window. And so we decided, as a compromise, we get a window unit, a really small one. And then our cat, Ginger, who decided he wanted to go outside all the time and bug us to go out there, he only goes like right around the house. He doesn't really go anywhere. So he has to sit his big old rump. He's actually not that big. He's kind of thin, actually. He's a very active cat, right? He sits on the AC unit and blows his fur into the room, basically. We have a filter on it, but we have to clean it all the time, and it doesn't catch everything. His dander is going to blow right through the filter. It's mostly like for fur and stuff. And anyway, it makes it kind of like I can't breathe half the time. I think he's sitting there now. Yeah, he's sitting there now because he's a giant turd. I think he just thinks it's so damn hilarious to be sitting there. Okay, it's a little on the half that. Okay. Anyway, I think this panel is good. It just needs to have. It's kind of too high. Hang on. There we go. Trying to talk into my microphone here comfortably. Oh, I just realized my tablet's turned kind of crazy. And yeah, this isn't exactly a fun episode right now. I'm just going through the process, make sure I got everything done. These only bubbles. I'll just write that down. I'm gonna check everything anyway. I'm gonna write speech bubbles. I might forget what I'm talking about. Let's put it. I'll just put it on the desktop for now because I won't keep it. I'm a software engineer, so that's why I run all my file names together instead of spacing them out. Old habits die hard. Anyway, page 6 is written down, so page 5. Okay, needs speech bubbles. Here's a goofy story for you. So I use the quotes to say it means needs speech bubbles, like page 5 also needs it. Like, you know how you used to do that, right? You'd write it instead of writing it over and over and over again. This guy that we worked with, he was working in the kitchen. Funny enough, it was in the mountains in the Sierras, and he was in the kitchen and he got a ticket to cook like burgers. There was a ton of people there. I'm pausing for exaggeration for a reason. It hailed really bad that day. It hardly ever rains up there during the summer and the spring. It more snows and then the snow melt, and that's what basically acts like almost like a rainforest effect. So during the summer and spring, it usually doesn't rain very much, or very, in that location specifically. Anyway, it's pelting hail down. All these people are under, like, we had this tarp covered, like almost like a giant gazebo porch area, like a patio type thing. Everybody was under it, and we were pretty packed that weekend. I don't remember why, and I don't remember if it was Labor Day or what it was. Anyway, it was ice is coming falling out of the sky, right? It's lightning. It's raining really hard. This fool, I won't say his name because I ain't trying to make fun of him like that, but this fool is a smart guy. He just was not paying attention. There was supposed to be like 20 cheeseburgers made. This fool made 3 because he wrote it down like our other friend wrote like cheeseburger like 3 times. And he was like, I'm not going to keep writing that. So he wrote quotes on a separate line for like 20 burgers. This fool made 3 cheeseburgers. There were 17 more people that needed to eat food, and they were mad as hell. I'm like, they ain't nothing better to do. They're stuck underneath this canopy thing, and like they can't go anywhere. I'm like, man, now they gotta wait. I don't know. There's nothing out there either, so like there's nowhere else to eat. Like if you wanted to go, I don't know. Let's say you wanted to go. Oh, screw this. I'm gonna go to Burger King. Yeah, that's a 3.5 hour drive. So yeah, I mean he screwed up pretty bad. I don't know. My wife didn't laugh at that because she knows that story, but that shit was funny to me. I'm like, I'm glad it wasn't me, man. I'd walked out. I've been like, I'm walking down the mountain. I don't care. All right. So, yeah, this guy here. He's very, very expressive, this guy. So he doesn't look quite the same. Oh, look, page 4 needs bubbles too. I don't know why I didn't bubble it. So anyway, I was just thinking about that because of these quotes that I just started doing. How's that for story time? Page 3 needs bubbles. The hell am I doing? I just got into a flow, I guess, when I started drawing. And page 2 as well. It also needs fixing. But so I'll just put that. Okay. So. Yeah, so when I go back to ink this, that's what this note here is for. You can't see what I'm pointing at because I'm pointing with my finger. This right here, that note is to let me know what the light should look like. Oh, man. So, I think all the drawings are fixed up until that point. So I have page number 23. We have page 2 that needs speech bubbles, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and 6. And then 7, 8, 10, 13, 23 have, I guess, well, actually 23 needs speech bubbles. Speech bubbles and text, actually. Cool. Let me just check page, because the speech bubbles are, I mean, that's kind of an inking kind of thing, so that's why I didn't do it the whole time. It's semi-inking, I guess. 7, 8, 10, 13. All right. Let's just do that real fast. Let's see what the hell I got to do on all these. Okay, so I'm going to add a hallway to this. Okay, this is a... Let's get her done. How much time we got? All right, 15 minutes. Yeah, that's... I mean, this is just the not so fun part of... I mean, from your perspective, I'm just trying to clean up what I have. So it's somewhat presentable and ready to be inked. And that way I can just fly through the inking process because that's fun. That's a fun part. This needs a bubble and it also needs a hallway. So really what I should do, honestly, is I didn't think about the text. I thought the text is cool that it's lining up against this body, but I didn't think about the speech bubble. So what I'm going to do is use, I never use these. You have like a custom balloon that you can use. Where's it at? Oh yeah, Flash. Forgot about Flash. The flashes and flash patterns and stuff for like explosions and stuff. That's cool. I forgot. The balloon pen, I believe, is what I'm thinking of. you can kind of like create your own like that. And you can smooth it out and all that good stuff. Let me see. Line color should be black. Yeah, see how it does like, you know, it's haphazard, but you can also smooth. I believe you can smooth it. Post correction. I don't know what that means exactly, but I assume that's what it means. So let's say we do some weird. Yeah, see how it's doing? That's what I'm saying. That's pretty cool. I don't know if you can erase this though. Nah. Okay, so I've got to be very careful. You can also just what's the one I was thinking of? The pen tool, obviously you can do it that way, but there's another way to do it. Curve balloon might be what I'm thinking of. But since this is a weird shape, I'm gonna try my best to keep it. I went a little far. It's all right, I can adjust that. I just want to get the end-to-end part. Yeah, like that. I think it's going by pressure too. It looks like a peanut. That's almost right. Let me see if I can change the brush size. Brush shape. Oh, okay. It's doing different. That's interesting. I didn't know you could do that with that. Go with the sharp angles. Nah. All right, let's try. Afro circus. Ah, man, I'm messing up. That almost works. I think this is flattening out a little too much. What are you doing? Oh, you know, see, this is what I was talking about before too, is that, let me lock this layer. I was trying to say before, when you go to do like a bubble, it will automatically take the text that's on a separate layer and connect it, which is annoying. I mean, I don't always want to do that, you know, but what if I want to move the bubble around? Then I have to delete it, and it's just a pain. You have to like control. I know, first world problems, but I'm saying for the fact that you're paying for a program, this is just one of those things that's just kind of goofy. I don't know why they did it that way. I'm going to try. I didn't mean to do that. My hand slipped. That's pretty close. Again, I don't know why it's kind of pressurizing here, and it's not doing the full shebang around the bubble. That's, I mean, it's not that important, I guess, but I want it to look clean. Let's see what it does. Look at that. It forces it to be on the same layer, even though I drew it on this layer, like, you know, on its own layer. Like, well, why? Why is it doing that? See how they're on separate layers, and then it forces it to be on the same layer down here. Like, what sense does that make? All right, let me it sees it as a text object. Let me see. It sees the text object and it tries to connect it automatically, but I'm going to try to do it again. I don't think I actually selected a separate layer, but let me just show you what happens to me usually. See what it does? It's on the same layer. Now, I don't know what the hell it does that for. That's really annoying, but to each their own. Problems and things. You can rasterize it and then erase the edge and all that stuff too. But for the sake of, you know, should I have to do that? I mean, that's kind of stupid, but that's the way it is. But what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to cheat a little bit just so I don't have to think about it. So I don't have to fix it. I'm going to put the balloon here. Works for me. I know it's kind of an ugly balloon, I don't. The other thing I wish it had is a eraser for the balloon, because you can't erase it unless it is rasterized, and I can't adjust the size of it because it's forcing the text to be on the same layer. Not very well thought out. So what you can do instead is select all of the white that's inside of this layer by just doing select color gamut, saying, okay, these are workarounds, and this isn't how it's supposed to function. The trick is to inverse it, right? Control X. Actually, I have to rasterize this first. Watch. Rasterize image. Then I can do this. Then I can repaste it as a separate layer. All right, so now this is a rasterized image. Oops, see, doing the wrong thing. Wait, let me make sure I'm doing this right. Okay, so we have this selected. It's all the black. All right, all the white rather is selected. Oh, you know what? I'm making this harder than it has to be. Let's just do this. Select the color gamut with the black, not the white. Sorry. I was trying to. That's for doing something else. If I can reach this. Now you can cut it when it's. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to rasterize this. Cut it on its own layer. Maybe. Maybe. Why is it not? Is there a copy of it somewhere? Okay. Let's I'm really confused why it's not letting me do that. Normally you can just hit Control and X to cut the layer. It's not cutting it. What in the actual hell is going on? Hang on. I don't know why it's not letting me cut that. That's really strange. Normally, I'm at a loss for words. I have no idea why that's not working. We're just going to close. I'm going to close Clip Studio and try it again. I really don't know why it's doing that. Very, very strange. So I'm saying, look at this crap. Like, why is this someone? This is just way more difficult than it needs to be. I don't even know what page that was. 13. I'm going to try it again. I don't know. Maybe memory leak. I have no idea. Okay, so again, I'm going to color gamut. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm doing something wrong somehow. But I mean, yeah, see, that's what it should have done. And that way you can paste it back onto a second layer. And you can move this around. However, what I need to do is get rid of this white. I mean, the outside. All right, there we go. And not have it selected. And so that way I can just move the, oops. Now the text is separate from it. I don't know why it wasn't doing it before, but it was acting like a turd. And that way I can move the text where I need it to, and I can also scale up this other layer just so that the bubble, speech bubble, sits properly within the confines of the drawing space. Now, the funny thing is there's this little black everywhere. I'm just going to get rid of that. Yeah, I'm not really sure why. I mean, I know why I did it. It was because of the selection range of color, but I need to... What I need to do is color gamut. Okay. And then I'll just use the selected tool to do this. Normally I don't have this much problem. I just want to make sure. Oops. The text is not deleted when I do what I'm about to do. Man, I can't believe I just did that. Let's see. No, screw it. That's just going to be way harder than helpful. I'm going to just do it like this. So normally you would be able to just not have this problem, this line here, but because the way I selected it, it's whatever. I don't want to keep messing with it, just to satisfy my ego. I'm just going to do it like this. The problems of working in Clip Studio Paint. No, that's not to say that Adobe doesn't have problems like this. It does. I've never used Adobe to draw a comic book. To be fair, this is the first time I've ever drawn a digital comic book. And wasn't sure how it was going to go. Not too bad, not too bad. Can be a little overwhelming at times because it's just me drawing it. Okay, so now see this speech bubble needs to have color fill. Tell me that's going to actually color fill. Oh, is it below him? Is that why? Oh, it was just on the wrong layer. Okay, so now if you want to put these oh, that's got to be above it. If you want to be able to move them separately like I did there, now you can. It's kind of a pain. I don't know why that's the default. There might be a setting in there I can change. I just don't know. I just keep forgetting to mess with it. You don't want your speech bubble to cover up all your art, and you also don't want it to be hard to follow, you know, so this say outside in the hallway. So yeah, see that speech bubble is awkward, but the rest of them are going to be pretty easy. Let me just lock these layers. I usually name my layers so I'm not confused, but okay, we don't need both of those. We're just gonna get rid of that for now, and then turn that off. Lock it on down. That way I know that the layer I'm working on is free to use and everything else is locked, and I'm not drawing on the wrong thing. Because then I might draw on top of something else and have to go back and, you know, erase it, and just it's a hot mess. So, you know, there are a lot of tools. As much as that's a pain, it's actually the only thing that I really don't like about Clip Studio. But it's also the cool thing about Clip Studio because you got speech bubbles, which drawing them by hand can be a pain in the ass. So, I mean, if you do, there's no stroke option in Clip Studio either. You have to kind of like, you'd have to color fill something. Say, like, if you want to do it, you'd have to do something like this. Okay, to stroke. It just popped in my head that I want to show you. If you go like this and you want to make your own speech bubble, the only way that I've found to do it is to color fill that on its own layer with something like white or whatever, red or something, whatever you want it to do. Then with the select tool, you can expand this by a certain number of pixels, say like 3. What the hell? It's easier to just type it in. And then this is saying, is it rounded corners or are they squared? That's just a matter of taste. So you say okay. And this is a big panel, so I don't know if you can see. See how it's got like a small little amount? We can go bigger than that. So you want 20, right? So now the trick would be to color fill this with, let's say black or something. So you can get that circle. And then I'm just using red so you can see it. And then you can delete this. Oops. And now you have a circle. Now you could also just do it with, that's to do a stroke. So like if you had this crazy polyline and you wanted to stroke it that way, that's what you'd have to do. Or, I mean, if it's a circle, of course, you could just use a circle tool. But to do that yourself, it takes quite a bit of time in CSP. But then in Adobe, you could just have whatever you want your shape to be and then stroke that and it's done. That's kind of a workaround. That's kind of a pain, but it works. So like when you want to add, like with Adobe, you can do like blending options and add a bunch of strokes and stuff, like very, very easy. And here it's quite a bit of work. There's your PSA for the day. Let me see. I just need to make there's a hallway that that's what I want to make. And I also wanted to, I must say this, the framing tools and all that are also really cool. So for making a comic book, CSP is pretty awesome. For drawing, beautiful. For editing, I wouldn't recommend it. For logo design or something, if you're doing an illustration, sure. But you're still going to want to vector trace it, usually. Vector files for the win. And you can do like smoothing and stuff in here, but it's not the same thing. Illustrator for that, if you're going to do that. So that's why I have Adobe, and because, editing video and all that stuff. And I have all the Adobe suite because it's just cheaper than having one thing. I mean, for the price of 1 or 2 apps, you can just pay for them all or get them all. Plus, I had Illustrator by itself once, and I was like missing Photoshop. So I wanted to have a standalone program. That's why I got CSP. So it's great for comics, but I don't know that I would recommend it for anything other than just purely drawing. If you're on a budget, though, you can get these. You can usually get it on. Oh, actually, Christmas is coming up. That's actually a really good time to get it because I paid like $20 or $40 or something like that for this, for a perpetual license. I don't need any more features, and if I do, I can just buy it again. So let's see. No bug support and all that kind of crap, but whatever. I just deal with what I got to deal with. There's probably better features in the newer versions of it, and when I get the money, I'll probably buy another one. All right, it's enough rambling. What was I going to do? Oh, the hallway. I was saying that I thought there was a special effect, like hallway thing. I don't know what the hell I'm trying to say. There was a way to do like a 3D perspective. I just wanted to see what it looked like. Like a grid. I think that's what it is. I think there's a grid up here somewhere. Yeah, you can use that like as if you're drawing on graph paper, and use that to guide your hallway lines if you wanted to. So like your vanishing point would be back here for the hallway. Do your little box if you want. I mean, that's pretty cool. It keeps things in perspective too, that way, and size. So if you wanted something small and then something big, so it looks like there's distance there, it's a very fast way to do it. I always forget that's even on here. But I thought that there was a like a 3D ruler or something. I say that, and there's vector paths. I guess you can vector on here, but I don't know. I just never do it. But again, I just think it's easier to use Illustrator and stuff. But I mean, you can do it in here if you have the patience. Let us see here. I'm awful hyper. Maybe it's the coffee. Mm-hmm. Let's see. I was going to... Okay. I wanted to show you the 3D. There's all kinds of 3D crap that you can do in here. And, like, you can use it to draw heads and stuff, you know. But I don't know where it is. I'd have to find it. That's not really important. But my curiosity is getting the best of me. Let me check it out, and I'll be right back. I love that AI says, in Clip Studio Paint, there is no dedicated 3D ruler object, but rather a perspective ruler. I'm like, it's the same thing. All right. Layer, ruler, frame, create, perspective. Yeah, I'd never done this before. Layer. Oh, yeah. We just need one on this. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. That's pretty cool. I guess you could move that too then, right? Oh, wow. Oh, well. What about if you want to change the perspective point there, like change the angle? That's interesting. Well, now we know. Knowing is half the battle. G.I. Joe. I really don't even know. Is this a... Oh, it's an... Oh, it's a layer. I see. Makes sense. It does say layer, doesn't it? Right. So, now... I'm just going to do really basic door in the background. I don't know why there's a layer one. Okay. All right, so I'm just going to do real basic. I think maybe like a maybe a door back here. Let me use the color. A door. Door, door, door. It's a door, Charlie. It's a door. You can see into your mind. You can see into your soul. Really? No. Yeah, it's a terrible door. Whatever. Why am I drawing like crap? I keep wanting to draw on an angle. Here we go. All right, these are going to be kind of like the double door things. And they have like a, you know, the hydraulic closer at the top. It's attached to the wall. That kind of thing. I'm sure I'm not drawing that well, but it's just there as a placeholder. It doesn't really matter how much detail it is. It doesn't have to be super detailed because it's just a background door. I cannot has breathe. Thanks, Ginger. So there's this. I was gonna frame it, but I'm like, wait a minute. Wouldn't this be on the door frame? That doesn't matter. No overthink, only draw. And then like the little door handle thing that you push in. I mean, I'm being a little too sloppy with that. Hang on. This. And then it's kind of like, you know, reasons and things. So here, let's close this out. Erase it off, rather. Erase it off the top of his bald head. And this doesn't have to have a... That's meant to look like a frame, but it actually kind of looks like it's an in-depth wall, like it's recessed into the wall. So I think that's fine, but this angle is wrong because of that. That's really meant to be a mitered cut, but it doesn't appear that way. I'm just going to fix it. We're going to get rid of this. Oh, you know what I got coming? I have a recorder coming. Not one of those things not the whistle thing we used to play when we were kids. I have a digital recorder, so I can do my vocals in a garage. Not torture everybody. I know I'm drawing that kind of lazy, but it doesn't matter. What the hell? So I can go out there and get my vocals done without feeling like I'm driving anybody crazy, and also get a little privacy. Kind of cool. What am I doing? The walls here. This is the recess point of the wall. So I'll just take this out here. Yeah, that's cool. And in this case, if that were true, if that were where the wall would be ending, this should be out to here now. I'm messing with my own brain here. Like, it doesn't actually have to be recessed into the wall. It's just that I put it like that. Down perspective, it would cut back a little bit from... Okay. So this is let's just pretend that this is a recessed part of the wall. No. It's weird. I don't know why I'm... This is funny. I gotta look. My brain is fried. It's not the doors themselves. It's the point at which the hallway is meeting at the recess of the wall. It's just kind of irritating me. I feel like it should be like there's a recess of the wall there, so we're going to do... This is the ceiling. All right. And then we could just like, right. That makes sense. So this is the flat side of the wall. It's recessed back in. Yeah, I think that works. And this will just be a brick wall, like an old school cinder block kind of situation. Like I said, this is like an old stucco type place because it's old. Let's just pretend. I have no idea, by the way, no clue where this is supposed to take place. It's not like the Northeast or, of United States. It's not anywhere particular. It's just some generic town that I made up in my brain. So that's the bottom of the doors, center line here. I mean, you're not even going to see the floor. So I guess that's cool. All right, I'm going to stop it here, and I'll be back. But I'm going to call it on this one and get a little bit more done. So thanks for hanging out. See you next time.